Hello, guys. How are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 9th September 2023. My name is T.S.V. Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Hardan, 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 Haribol, TRSV, Nectar, NECTAR, Nectar. In this particular vlog, in all my previous videos, we have been discussing about the knowledge and information that we have gleaned through the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video in this vlog is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is a mere continuation of all that we have been doing in all my previous videos. Kindly subscribe to my vlog and press the bell icon so that I may keep reminding you of all my previous and maybe future vlog videos of this vlog. So let us continue with the topic for discussion for today's video. In the past few videos, we have been trying to analyze the connection and the permutation and combination of the three subtle bodies, the Kundalini chakras of the gross body, the three modes of material nature, and the false ego of a human living entity. This is applicable to every average human living entity, whether male or female. There are three types of subtle body in a particular human living entity. They, along with the gross body, attract the actual spirit soul of that particular human living entity. These three subtle bodies are: the first, causal body of intelligence and logic; the second, body of astral mind, feelings and emotions; the third, body of etheric senses, namely sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch; and finally, the gross body, which is made up of four elements, namely air, fire, water, and earth. The first three subtle bodies are made up of the first element called ether. Now, it is this gross body in which the subtle and imaginary Kundalini serpent of energy plus the seven chakras exist. Both are imaginary and subtle in nature. They are there, but they cannot be seen with the naked eye. There are seven chakras placed at equal distance across the complete spinal cord of a human living entity in his or her gross body. Of the seven, the seventh chakra, which resides on a thousand petaled lotus at the center of the cranium of that living entity, is directly related to the spirit soul of that particular human living entity. Hence, we are not taking it into consideration right now. However, of the other six chakras which are below the seventh Sahasrara chakra have been divided into three pairs of two chakras each. The first two chakras are known as Mooladhara, base or root chakra. First, second, the Swadhisthana chakra, which is behind the genitals of the body of that particular human living entity, whether male or female. These two form a pair which is physical in nature and which is generally answerable to the vibrations of the subtle body of etheric senses. Now, we have already discussed these two chakras and the relationship with the other subtle bodies, the three modes of material nature, and the false ego of the human living entity. Today, we shall discuss the third chakra, which is known as the Manipuraka chakra. The first two were purely physical in nature. In other words, they only catered to the gross body of that living entity. However, from now on, we will concentrate on the subtler and more refined mental and cerebral attributes of a living entity, whether male or female. This third chakra is the first among the second pair of chakras, the second part being the Anahata chakra. In other words, the Manipuraka chakra and the Anahata chakra form a pair which is more cerebral than the first two chakras, which are Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Because they were physical, these answered more to the ignorance mode of material nature and somewhat to the passion mode of material nature. However, Manipuraka chakra and Anahata chakra which form the second pair of chakras, is more answerable to the passion mode of material nature and somewhat to the causal mode of material nature or goodness mode of material nature. Manipuraka chakra is activated by a yoga called karma yoga. When the Manipuraka chakra of a human a living entity, whether male or female, is activated through karma yoga, the Kundalini serpent of energy, which was hitherto resting on the second Swadhisthana chakra, wakes up and begins traveling through the tunnel in the spinal cord and comes to rest at the Manipuraka chakra. This Manipuraka chakra is situated at the stomach of the human living entity, whether male or female. There is an English saying, fire in the belly. This Manipuraka chakra is activated and dependent on the element of fire in the psyche and body of a human living entity. The more the fire in the belly, the more active does this Manipuraka chakra become. So now, this Manipuraka chakra is not as physical as the other two first chakras, namely Mooladhara and Swadhisthana. Manipuraka chakra is more cerebral in nature. It is also material in nature in the sense that it is more business, commerce, trading, industry, and all those activities which generate wealth and money are oriented. Let me put it more clearly. When a person wants to generate wealth, to manage wealth, to monitor it, or to regulate it through commerce, industry, trading, business, etc., then that particular living entity relies on this Manipuraka chakra. Because it has to do such an important job, it needs fire in the belly. Manipuraka chakra is more material than any other chakra among the seven. This particular chakra is directly connected to the mode of passion and to the false ego of that particular human living entity. Because it is connected to the false ego or the ego of that living entity, hence it is very much interested in building up its own status in the society, building up its own wealth, becoming more affluent, more materialistic, materialistically successful, and so on. This makes it a part of the mode of passion. Not only that, in this case, the Manipuraka chakra and the Anahata chakra answer to the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions. If normally one human living entity on the Manipuraka chakra is answering to the vibrations from the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions, it makes that person very passionate, determined, ambitious, industrious, restless, enterprising, and a person with a determination to succeed materialistically. However, if by chance the same person gets attracted to the etheric body of senses, then the same person's intelligence is diverted towards all those businesses which answer to the pressures of life, mainly lust. Such people are interested in the business of intoxicants, drugs, prostitution, and other such activities which incite every average human living entity. The main idea is to make money, but in this case, the same human living entity becomes unscrupulous enough to generate and monitor wealth through lusty things, through those businesses which generate goods or services of the lusty nature. On the other hand, if the same person is genuine enough to answer only to the astral mind of of feelings and emotions, then he or she becomes an ordinary trader, shopkeeper, supermarket owner, distributor of genuine goods, supplier of genuine services, and things like that which sustain this human society in the material world. On the other hand, if this person gets evolved enough to answer to the causal body of intelligence, which is above the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions. In such a case, the same person is answerable to businesses which are more sophisticated and which generate wealth in the sophisticated direction. Such people become owners of educational institutions, labs, then those businesses which generate some wealth by drawing out minerals from the earth. They become tycoons, magnates, icons in business, living or dead legends for the society to emulate upon, and so on. The Reliance people, the Birlas, the Tatas, etc., who are icons of the business and industry in the society, are answerable to the causal body of intelligence. That is precisely the reason why they have such consultancy services of software, computer, etc. Companies like Infosys, a part of Wipro, the Tata Consultancy Services, and other such software companies answer to this bracket of businessmen who answer to or take vibrations from the causal body of intelligence very seriously. Gone are those days when they were interested only in producing and distributing local goods like fruits, vegetables, cereals, pulses, and other such things to generate wealth. Here we now understand the relationship between Manipuraka Chakra and the three subtle bodies and their vibration. Depending upon the destiny, the karma, the intelligence, taste, preferences, experiences, maturity, and evolvement of a human living entity. He or she prefers vibrations from either of the three subtle bodies. The baser it is that human living entity takes vibrations from the etheric body of senses and so provides lusty objects in his or her business. In case he or she is answerable to the astral body of mind, of feelings and emotions, he or she becomes a normal businessman. Howsoever, if the same person answers to the vibrations of the causal body of intelligence and logic, the same person generates wealth in the sophisticated and intellectual category like software, insurance, banking, finance, or taking out or drawing out wealth from within this earth. They are people who are very dynamic, intelligent, sophisticated, and determined to use the wealth within this earth and in the society, both material and physical and mental. These people guzzle knowledge of all types and hone it to perfection to generate and manage wealth in that particular category. Of course, the false ego of all these living entities differ from vibrations to vibrations from one subtle body to the another. The false ego of a person who is answerable to the etheric body of senses is very, very different from those of a person answerable to the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions. Same way, the ego of a person of the astral body of mind differs from that particular businessman who is answerable to the vibrations of the causal body of intelligence. This all differs because of the taste or preference of that particular living entity. All three are in business and all three generate wealth, some more than the other. In fact, when it comes to quick money and liquid cash, those who are interested in the vibrations of the etheric senses are more successful than the other two, whereas those who generate reputable, respectable, honorable type of income and wealth are answerable to the vibrations of the causal body of intelligence. You will appreciate that a person who is running a software company is very, very different from a person who is running a dance bar or a wine shop. Both have reputations of a different kind. Same is the case with an average businessman who is answerable to the vibrations of the astral body of mind, feelings, and emotions. This person is forced to cater not only to his or her own line of business but has to work in tandem with both types of businessmen, whether they are from the etheric senses category or from the causal mind category. It depends on the destiny, karma, and evolvement of that businessman, which bracket of business or businessman he wishes to answer to. Some have to necessarily bow down to guys who are interested in the nefarious activities which generate ready cash or working capital or liquid cash, whereas the other are evolved enough to either remain in their own category or to graduate to the causal body of intelligence. One thing I would like to remind you all is that in this case of Manipuraka Chakra, necessarily most of those in this business come from the mode of passion in the material nature category. Seldom does a person from the mode of ignorance come into this category, and very rarely those from the material mode of goodness nature want to come into this category of business. There are Of course, some very rare, reputable, understandable, and legendary examples of those who just wanted to do some social service as good Samaritans, for, but for that they had to do business to generate wealth. Examples are Mr. Narayana Murthy of Infosys, Mr. Fakir Chand Kohli of TCS, Mr. Ramadurai of TCS, and Mr. Chandrasekhar of TCS. These people are basically intellectuals who answer to the vibrations of the causal body of intelligence and logic, but they have to do business to generate enough wealth to be distributed in the society and to be successful in their own mission of generating wealth of the highest category, whether it is in the services line or in the product line. Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, Mr. Aditya Vikram Birla, Mr. Rama Prasad Goenka, the Singhanias, etc., belong to this category alone. Of course, in some cases, they began by answering to the astral mind of feelings and emotions and its vibrations, but later on they graduated to the causal body of intelligence and logic. As I had mentioned before, there are quite a few exceptions even in this category. As they say in English, it is but a slip from the cup to and between the cup and the lip, or it is but a step from the sublime to the ridiculous. Examples of that category happen to several otherwise respectable businessmen, both in the astral mind category and the causal intelligence category. But this is extremely rare. It does not happen to all common human living entities of this society, whether male or female. This is all I wanted to tell you in this particular video about the Manipuraka chakra and those who are connected to it directly or indirectly. Please let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. Please give me your own expert opinions, thoughts, and ideas so that I may blend everything together for the sake of this society. Before concluding, let me remind you that I am also a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.